Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett. Here. Mrs. Hess.
Here.
Mr. Holdren.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mrs. Stone.
Here.
Mr. Tadalini.
Here.
Mr. Char.
Here. We do have a quorum. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to adopt or amend the agenda?
I so moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Char.
All right, motion carries. Next item of business is consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett. Aye. Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Char.
All right, motion carries. Next item of business is celebrations.
Big celebration was the first day of school, and systems were strong across the district, and a huge shout out to everybody that put time and work in above and beyond the call of duty to get Thompson ready for the first day of school. Talking directors, Mr. Murphy, Mr. Lorenzini, his crew, everybody, every director, everybody, was all hands on deck. Our partners with BBD, so appreciate that. It was quite the feat, and we had a successful first week, even though it was only 2 days of school. So great to have kids back. Wonderful to have students back.
Any other celebrations? Next item of business, DAC report.
Yeah, DAC met on Wednesday, first day of school, so it was a full day for Marcia. Building reports was kind of all good, first day of school. Attendance policy came up for discussion, multiple points of view on that from the parents and school teachers and administrators. Marcia went ahead and reviewed some capital projects that we had going on in the district. And there were just a couple proposals for DAC goals for next year, like more family involvement and more recognition and appreciation for academic successes. And that's all I had.
Very good, thank you. Next item of business would be 6.1 financial report.
Okay, where they're at my notes at. All right. We don't have any money. It's all gone. Just kidding, there's a little bit left. So it's gonna be a super short report tonight. Sorry guys, I didn't have time to put together an actual report. But a few things here. Working on SDS, it's going pretty smooth so far. Working on our second payroll. So Landon's doing a great job with that, working with the trainers. The thing is we get to build the system completely from the ground up in the way we want it, so we're still making modifications to mapping and things like that. So hopefully here and there, 2 or 3 payrolls, we got it down and we're cooking, right? Accounts payable, deposits, all that side of the accounting seems to be going really well. Ladies picked that up really quick. They think so far I haven't heard any really bad feedback from any of the administrators or anything that have to go in and approve requisitions. That's kind of a new thing this year that they didn't have to in the old system, so it's a nice piece that they have to verify their own expenditures. We're still going with the 4-signature system on the activity fund, so that's still something. So they have to do it there, then they have to do it in the system. So they're gonna make darn sure they really want to spend that money. But it's going really well. Still working through a few things as far as the initial setup. Hopefully, like I said, little time and a little patience. We should be up and rolling really soon here. I think it's already doing pretty well, you know. So, but just a few bugs we got to work through still. It's just a new system, new process. A lot of manual uploading still that we have to do on a few fronts, but we'll get there. A couple things I've found is the fixed assets. So basically what that is, it's a list of any asset that's over $5,000 as a useful life of over 10 years. There were quite a few discrepancies in what was previously reported in our audit books versus what actually has been, that we actually have. I don't know how many years it's been since it's been updated appropriately, but it will be this year. So that's just another undertaking that we're taking on, which kind of segues into the conversation with the auditor. I stayed at home from work one morning, and I had work, but I had like a 3-hour phone call from the auditor, and we just went through everything. Kind of a historical picture of the school, what's happened over the last year and a half, where we came, where we went, where we still need to go. He's great. He's just a great person. So I think he'll be really good for us. I mean, he's by the book. There's quite a few things I tried to bring up last year in our audit to do, and was told that we didn't necessarily have to do it, but we do, and we did it anyways. And this guy's on board with everything. So he knows we still have some issues getting out of IB. He knows it's a glitchy program. He knows there's going to be some stuff in there that doesn't look necessarily ideal, but at the end of the day, when we give him our trial balance and the big things, the caches, the revenues, everything else reconciled to state figures, he'll have all that. So he'll have the big stuff. You know, some of the internal stuff might be looked at, but like I said, he's a good auditor. The goal at the end of the day for me is to be able to do our 6/30 audit and be able to start July 1st in our new system with audited numbers and be able to roll forward. You know, I said it'd be a couple of years when I started, and hopefully by the end of this year we're where we need to be, or at least really, really close. So the audit prep, we got a couple more of us. We got our Pinnacle audit done, our workers' comp audit done, our CD40, our state transportation report and audit that has been completed. The big audit's coming up here soon. We're already sending them information. We don't really have a date. We're just kind of play it by ear because we only have new provisions till the end of September, and all of our audited detail is going to be in that system. So we're sending them information right now as far as check registers and things like that, so they can say, hey, we want to see this, so they can get it back to us, so we can make sure they get the information they need to do their audit properly. Other than that, I mean, like I said, it's just been crazy busy. It's just been a really busy summer. I mean, just been running 100 miles an hour. I made the short finalist list for the CIDSIP, the Carlisle School District Self-Insurance Pool, and I have an interview for their board on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, that's all I had, unless you guys have questions for me. Oh, the insurance, health insurance. Fund 64 is going really well. We've done our first 2 months, basically first month for sure, almost our second month reconciled. All of our bills are tying out right where they should be. No games. I mean, Brian Perry kept it super, super simple for us. A lot of places have, 10 vendors. We got about 4. So, I mean, he worked it out really good for us. So that was another thing. So it's really nice having that Fund 64 where all the expenditures for all of our fringe benefits go to. So, you'll be able to look and see an account. It'll, medical claims, medical premiums, dental vision, life, whatever, just right there. I'll give you your year-to-date. So I'm hoping to have better reports to you guys the next month or so, and then you guys will be able to review those on your own. And I've already kind of shared a rough draft with Paul Bryson, and it sounds to me like they at least like the format, but I wasn't comfortable sharing them just yet because we're still working on processes. But that's all I got.
Any questions? Good luck on your interview.
Thanks. It's going to be interesting.
Thank you, Mr. Yake. Next item of business will be board reports. Any board reports to present?
Meet and confer also met on the first day of school at 4:15 before the DAC meeting. A few teachers were late, a few weren't there just because of the first day of school. With that being said, we're changing our meeting to the Wednesday before the DAC meeting so that we can get through all of our business before 5:30 and not be rushed. And other than that, we went over meet and confer membership, who's on it, and then reviewed several policies that we're going to see in first and second reading tonight.
Thank you. Any other board reports?
Yeah, the Ag Advisory met last week. Financial report from them, they're $88,756.26. They paid their first half of the convention out of that. So the second half will come out. There was a question, one of the advisors said, did they find some of the money they thought was missing? They were like, yeah, we've got everything squared away. They feel like their books are really good. They had students donate time during the rodeo, said that went great. So I think it was the rodeo committee that donated, they had some leftover top rounds for the barbecue, which I'll skip ahead, which is Wednesday, August 19th, back to school barbecue from the ag department at 6:30. So if we hustle up Wednesday,
Got it, I'm writing it down, 6:30.
would you write that down? Because if we can hustle up, we can get dinner right after we leave here. Be perfect.
That sounds perfect.
That's what I was thinking. They were very pleased with the numbers. 106 students, high schoolers across 9 classes. So that's way up. And 83 8th graders
Wow.
showing interest. Yeah, so numbers way up there. That's very good. It's a good thing we've got 2.
Get a second auctioneer for the hired hand.
Mr. Miller's going, oh.
Is that to combine lots, maybe?
Oh, you're not that old, you can handle it. The national convention, they'll take 10 kids to Indianapolis, October 19th through the 23rd. Harvest Producers Breakfast is Saturday, September 26th from 8 to 10. I think I'm about done. Oh, chapter speaking night, Wednesday, October 7th. And they are in need of judges for the creed. I can't even pronounce this. Extemporaneous, yeah, I can.
There you go.
Shit, good. Good thing I had my cheaters on. So yeah, they're looking for judges for that. And I didn't write enough note down on this Perkins grant convention. Another convention in New Orleans that I think it was the 2 teachers are going, and they will take a few students. Perkins will pay for their travel and stay out of that grant. Does that sound correct? Okay, I'm doing good because I didn't write enough down.
You're doing great.
And the advisory board said maybe we can figure out some kind of a fundraiser to raise money to help pay for their meals while they're there. So the advisory board was looking at something there to do for that. And then we set up the rest of the meetings for this year. And just to remind everybody, they don't meet monthly anymore. They meet every quarter, once every quarter. So I think that's it.
Thanks, Sean. That was a good report.
We do have finance committee meeting this afternoon ahead of this, and basically discussed all that Keith gave in his report, and nothing new, big. Excited for the team to get through to SDS, right? Just for their relief and just to have that check. That's a big box to check off, but then really excited about the information that's going to provide to us, not only as a board, but I think the ability to be way better and effective and more transparent with the community and stakeholders and stuff. I mean, even after finance, before we started, Keith was showing me a couple things, and it's like, yeah, this is light years from what we're used to being able to extrapolate. So I'm excited about that too.
Any other board reports? I do want to report that I have contacted legal counsel and sent documents in preparation for the superintendent's contract work that we'll work on later this year. So waiting to hear back from them on that. Okay, if there's no other reports, we'll move on to next item of business being executive session.
I hereby move that the Board of Education convene an executive session pursuant to CRS Section 24-6-402, subsection 4, paragraph B, to receive legal advice to discuss the following legal matter with its attorney, Jenna Hansen, fiduciary risk management. Those present will be members of the Board of Education. The board may also include Marcia Cody, Jenna Hansen, Keith Yake, and Lacey Smith.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the board enter into executive session. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Chard.
Aye. Motion carries. There being 2/3 in favor, the motion carries. The board will now move into the superintendent's office for the executive session. We'll reconvene in open session immediately after. Session.
I, Jason Holder, move that the Board of Education leave executive session.
It's been moved and seconded that the Board of Education leave executive session. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett,
Aye.
Mrs. Hess,
Aye.
Mr. Holdren,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mrs. Stone,
Aye.
Mr. Catalini,
Aye.
Mr. Carr.
Aye, motion carries. The time is now 6:52 PM and the executive session is concluded and we return to open meeting. The participants in the executive session were Lacey Garrett, April Hess, Jason Holdren, Bryson Miller, Nicole Stone, Sean Tatalini, Paul Chard, Marcia Cody, Jenna Hansen, Keith Yake, and Lacey Smith. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record. Hearing none, the executive session is concluded, and I will ask Jason Holdren to report on the executive session.
The board, Marcia Cody, Keith Yake, and Lacey Smith met with Jenna Hansen to discuss fiduciary risk management.
Mrs. Hansen, will you certify the executive session was properly conducted and in accordance with the law?
Yes,
Very good. Thank you for your time.
thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item of business would be superintendent's report.
So at the top of my superintendent's report, one of the documents that I shared with DAC that Mrs. Hess referenced was an overview of our current capital projects. So that is on a link for you. It looks like this as well. A couple of things I'll point out is our Thompson roof. That includes also the Thompson windows and the Beaver Valley windows. You'll remember those are change orders. That Thompson roof is 99% complete. We've almost completed that project. The windows at Thompson are completely done except some exterior masonry work. That's also the same at Beaver Valley. The HVAC, we're getting closer to substantial completion, so excited about that. The H building is starting this week. We'll have a new roof, new sidings, a new north garage door, and that is starting soon. We were just waiting for the permit to get in place. The admin building, which is this building, and the bus barn behind it, you'll recall that you approved that project. That will happen right after the H building. Maintenance building, all of the settlement funds have been settled, done, for lack of a better word. And I have signed that contract as the board provided, as the board action listed, and that will begin this fall. All of that work, except for the HVAC, is part of our storm damage claim. The HVAC was best, and you can see the cost for each. The other two pieces that were also grant funded, remember BEST is a grant, is for BDA radios, and that is $38,144, and you're gonna see some more information, and that is an action item later tonight. And then our Safer Grant radios, which is a $712,000 grant that we received and you took action on at the last board meeting. So that document is there. It'll also be on the website. We're hoping to get that up by the end of the week and get that out. DAC had requested that we share that. They thought that was a helpful document. Any questions on that? Those are all that you're fully aware of, right? It's like second nature. You could talk at it at length. In my superintendent's report, you'll also notice a preschool update for August, so you can click on that link, and a food service update for August. So those are for your informational purposes. As far as action items, you do have 2 personnel reports. Your first one has main items. The second one is related to one of our board members and is an employee of another, so that's why that is a separate personnel report. Also note on that was adjusted on the second personnel report. It's just for middle school. So note that it's no longer high school and middle school. As far as other action items, we have several MOUs. They've all been reviewed by legal. One is with the Brush PD, and this is our standard response protocol, just saying that yes, we all agree to follow the same standard response protocol, which is through I Love You Guys. The next is the American Red Cross MOU, which is giving permission for them to use our facilities in the event of a situation emergency taking place. The next is an MOU with Woodland School District, and that is allowing them to bring buses into our district. Any questions on those three? Okay. The fourth one is a MOU with Healthy Young Minds. This has been reviewed by legal, and we brought in our contact with Healthy Young Minds into the admin building, or admin meeting, and then I met with Mrs. Gibbs this morning with our contact with Healthy Young Minds and had a conversation about some of the processes. Any questions about Healthy Young Minds? Couple of things that I want to point out before, just in case it pops up, is that this is not like the Healthy Kids survey that we have stepped away from. These are those survey questions that I sent to you. There's no leading about beliefs. For ages 12 and up, it would be an opt-out as a possible procedure. For those that are 11 years old and down, it would be an opt-in. We would send the link to a parent, and the parent could choose to send the survey to their child or choose not to. The information would go to our school counselors, and then they would contact parents to determine what that child might need and if services are desired. Any questions there? The next one is with the University of Kansas. This is for instructional coaching. This actually, they provide funds to us to be part of their research. So that's that MOU. Any questions on that one? All right, another action item that you have tonight is retention of legal counsel, which was our executive session. And you also have a tolling agreement extension for 60 days, so you will see that as an action item as well. And then rounding up that is an update on signers for school, Mr. Malat, who's here tonight. He needs to be updated on the Beaver Valley account, and so you'll see that as an action item too. The last two action items before policy is for complete wireless technology. Again, that's for that bidirectional amplifier, or BDA, and additional radios that will tie into that interoperable radio system through that Motorola contract that you approved at the August 3rd special board meeting. The other is a disposal of kitchen equipment. We had a surplus of food service funds, which cannot be transferred into general fund, and so the board had agreed to purchase items for our kitchens, and so those surplus items can now be disposed of. And so you can see the list there. Any questions on any of those? All right, now it's time for policy. Here we go. So the first policy is GCO, evaluation of licensed personnel. This is aligning our practice and policy. The first piece is talking about the spot observation form, which is how we are monitoring our instructional commitment. So over the past 2 years, we've been talking about high quality instruction. And we talked about what is our definition of high quality instruction. And that went back to the schools, and they talked about their definition of high quality instruction. We came back together as an instructional admin team and said, all right, what is our commitment to high quality instruction? And we decided that we like the word commitment, our instructional commitment. So our instructional commitment at Brush School District is that, number one, every student will have access to rigorous grade level content through intentional explicit planning and instruction. So, number two, every student will have consistent opportunities to engage in their learning And number 3, every student will have a variety of opportunities to receive feedback and show mastery of content. That spot observation form is aligned to those commitments or commitment. And that's what's described in GCO. And then the second part of the changes that are recommended in GCO are alignment with the new state law. It's now about a year and a half old. Shifting, it used to be 50% of professional practices, 50% measures of student learning and measures of student outcome, and now it has turned 70 to 30, 70% being the teacher quality standards or principal quality standards, and 30% the MSLs and MSOs. So this is a first reading. We'll be discussing it at the September board meeting. GCOR is the evaluation of licensed personnel. This is the regulation. This is again making sure it aligns to what we're doing with our instructional commitment in the spot observation form. And it's making sure there's calibration. Over the past 2 years, I've been meeting with our 1338, which is our Advisory Personnel Performance Evaluation Council. They provide voice into evaluation systems. It might be into professional development. And one of the pieces that came up multiple times is making sure that there's inter-rater reliability or strong collaboration between evaluators in our district. And so that's what the changes in this policy is discussing. In GCOE, this is the evaluation of the evaluators. This is continuing on with that. And you're going to see that piece, again, about the evaluators and what we are needing them to do. The next one for first reading, and all of these went to meet and confer last Wednesday, as Mr. Holdren referenced, is IKA. This is the grading and assessment system, and its regulation talks about it. And you can see, if you look at page 2, it talks about that only if a student is on an IEP or a Section 504 can they request a paper version of the state assessment. That's because of a new state law. So that's what that is doing. IKR is the regulation, which is saying instead of it being a popularity contest where it's like there's a domino effect that students want to opt out, we want to move that outside of the testing window and that they meet with an administrator. They can still opt their student out. They get to have that right. We just want it to be a conversation and based off, yes, I think this is what's best for my child versus this is what my friends are doing. So that it's an intentional decision. The last one for first reading tonight is GBI. This is criminal history record information. This entire policy was approved, you'll recall, as an emergency reading at our last board meeting, the special board meeting on August 3rd. And so all the changes have been accepted because it was emergency reading. Now it's going through all 3 readings. This one will go back to meet confer at their next meeting because it's long and there were a lot of changes. But it did go to meet and confer, but we're going to circle back, like I said, in September. All right, now we have several policies for second reading, which means it's time for discussion. These are the policies I brought to you last time, and now let's engage in some discussion. The first one is BEDH, public participation at school board meetings. We've had a couple discussions, and so here's a couple of things that you could change. First, you can change as much or as little. We definitely think it's important for the public to bring comment, right? That's something that we want to do. And so there's a route to do that that's productive, and there's a route that's not. And so we want to make sure still we have our current, I just pulled out of the basket right before the board meeting, our current public participation at school board meetings policy, and so I have that here in case you have questions. You can see the changes here. A couple that we are open for discussion is, if you look at that first line, the board encourages district residents to address the board during dedicated portions of the board meeting, and I think you may have revised it again. Is that correct,
Yeah.
Dr. Chard? Let me pull that up because it was different in here. I'm going to grab it right now. But any questions on that or thoughts on BDH as I pull it up?
So I think the biggest difference from the previous version is there's a pretty well described list of eligibility towards the bottom of this. And then that describes, and that's something that I think the board needs to be comfortable with, that list. And then the paragraph above that in red just describes the process of submitting a public participation form. Some options there. So wanting to get, some discussion on that now and thoughts.
And one thing is, if you don't feel comfortable moving it on to third reading, we can take it out of the exhibit and it could stay in second reading. Any of the policies in second reading do not have to go to third reading tonight. They can remain in second reading if need be.
So if we'd rather have some more time to review this, we can just pull it off of that exhibit tonight and give the board more time to digest and think through it.
We can still discuss a few things, okay?
We can,
do that?
absolutely.
No, I think-
So, couple pieces of this, I think as a board member, you sit up here in our meetings and know we don't have rooms full of people, because that typically means that we have messes that have everybody in high concern and stuff. At the same time, at least from my experience, I seek engagement from our stakeholders. We sit up here representing the stakeholders of this district, and I seek that. And so then I turn around and I say, okay, what does my life look like on a Monday when a board meeting's coming? Maybe I don't see the board agenda until 4 o'clock that afternoon. Maybe I don't even know that there's something on the agenda that needs to be on my radar until, I'm speaking if I wasn't a board member, right? Until somebody picks up the phone and calls me and another fellow stakeholder and says, hey, did you know this is on the agenda? And I think, it concerns you, you need to be concerned about it. And I put myself in that situation with other aspects of our society and things that I get involved in and engaged in, and that's just a reality. So I understand the need for, preparation and all of those things that might be tied to this 12 p.m. deadline to sign up for public comment. And I don't mind that being the baseline, but I want to make sure that we have a sound mechanism, when appropriate, to be able to suspend that rule. Because as a constituent, I would be furious if there was a topic spoke about tonight that I wanted to have my voice heard about, and because of a silly rule that's written in policy, I couldn't effectively engage for another 30 days on that. And perhaps a decision is going to be made that night, right? So I think what it really boils down to in a lot of instances of this is ensuring that this policy is developed in a way that soundly allows the board to suspend rules where appropriate and has those controls on a case-by-case basis. And without a better way of saying it, what is the intent versus the letter?
Would it be better instead of 12 p.m. if it were 6 p.m., like at the board meeting? I'm just wondering. I'm just pondering.
I would be more comfortable with that myself, because I think that's fair. Like if you're going to sign up for public comment, you need to be here and you need to be signed up by the start of the board, by the start of the meeting, to allow the chair to effectively be organized, prepared for that. If there is, 15 people that sign up for public comment, it takes some time to organize that. You have a priority schedule, you have a sign up order, you have a rule written in this particular policy that says not everybody's going to be able to talk unless we suspend that rule, right? And so and maybe it needs to be 5:30, so that you have a half hour between that point in time and the start of the board meeting to organize that. I just personally, 12 o'clock, it seems too soon for what we're about. Or if it needs to be 12 o'clock, that's fine, but I would prefer that it be effectively written in here and vetted, that anybody who's looking for a reason to send us a nice letter and a settlement could not, if we choose to suspend the rules.
I had a similar concern to Mr. Miller, but mine was more, it does say that it has to come to the district office on a Monday. I know what my Mondays look like. I couldn't get to the bank if I owed money. So I'm wondering if there's an electronic version that maybe we could do that would drop into an email inbox.
It actually does mention
Does it?
electronic
Okay.
public participation form found
Electronic, okay,
on the
that's- yeah, I knew
website,
that part. I
or
just thought board public participation.
or
Got it.
allow them the option to come to the district.
Okay, got it, yeah, as long as we can do, I mean, again, I'm on the same page. If I woke up Monday morning and my phone rang and I'm like, I can't get out of here to go to the, yeah, as long as it's there.
Mhm.
Sorry, it's that.
No.
It's good.
Good point.
Well, I think moving it to 5:30 in case you had a big deal. Then we, correct me if I'm wrong, Bryson, that would alleviate that, right?
Should.
I mean, if you're gonna have an issue, you've got it by 5:30, 6 o'clock, right?
Mhm.
And that puts, then we're not, being ambiguous in having to change here for this one or that one.
Right. So the only, and I don't disagree with that, and the reason I continue to say the ability to suspend rules if appropriate, if deemed appropriate by this body,
Right.
right? Because, yes, if there's a organized public comment, positive, negative, whatever it might be, then your assumption would be that would maybe involve somebody looking up the policy and identifying, okay, we need to have this turned in by 5:30, we need to be there, right? If it's a matter that lands on a stakeholder's desk at 5:30 and they're here by 6 and it's deemed by this board appropriate, like we can hear a public comment or two on this, and we want to invite that, we have those abilities to do that if we deem it appropriate. Because like I just continue to put myself on the other side of this table, right?
Yeah.
Say I get a phone call, I'm at the office and I get a phone call at 5:15. They say, hey, this is on the agenda at the school board meeting. Think you should be there. I mean, that's happened before I sat on this
Yeah.
board with
Yeah.
with this body, right?
Yeah.
Plus a lot of other things. And I'm gonna say, okay, what time's the board meeting? 6 o'clock, and I'm gonna be here by 6 o'clock. You know, which might mean I'm here at 5:58 and I'm filling out a public comment form. I think we need to be open to that when appropriate
Yeah.
and have that flexibility within the policy.
Another advantage to having them turned in by 5:30 is if you have a large group that are coming to speak about the same topic, then it gives me or whoever's running the meeting the time to go have a discussion with that group, ask them to organize and have 2 or 3 speakers so they can say their piece within that 10-minute window and not drag out a board meeting for hours with separate
Right.
speakers. So it allows
And
us
that's why
to organize them and be more
with
effective.
those flexibilities
Yeah.
when appropriate, because, if we have a body come in that's just wanting to put on a circus act for, I'm sorry, but we've all seen the videos. Thank God we haven't had to deal with it, but who's to say we wouldn't, right? We have, it's all about what's the intent, in my
Yep.
opinion. Making sure our policy allows those flexibilities.
I agree.
So maybe I guess with that, I would say that I would be in favor of pulling this and having a little bit more time to perfect those conversations and
kinda
those
tweak it a little
feelings
bit.
before we
I agree.
go to
That
third
sounds
reading.
That sounds good, and I want to make sure I have the right language to revise it. One is to revise it to make the deadline 5:30 p.m. Is that the time that seems good? And then whenever deemed appropriate by the Board of Education to suspend the rules that you're able to do so.
And how do we, mechanically, how do we do that during a meeting?
And I think when we talk about public comment, I look at that as a right of a stakeholder of the
Yes.
district. And so anytime you're dealing with rights and you're dealing with parliamentary procedure and you're dealing with rights of a stakeholder, I think it would be good if we involve Josh in this
That's what I have
at a high
right
level.
The other piece with this policy that I think could be hugely detrimental is that if it appears that the policy is infringing on anyone's First Amendment rights, it's not a good thing, right?
Right.
So that's another reason to involve legal. There is I would like to look again at the eligibility of speakers list
Okay.
before we stop taking notes on this and see if everyone's comfortable with the way that's written, or if there's any changes we need to make, or additions. And then, and how do we determine proof of eligibility is also in there, and so
when I went through this earlier, the question that came to mind is, from a priority standpoint, is a resident of the district and a property owner of the district, can you define a priority separation there? Because I couldn't myself. I mean, if you're a resident, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a property owner.
right.
But if you're a property owner, fiscally, you're in the same place, even if you're a vacant property owner, right?
Sure.
Well,
In the
there's,
district.
I'm thinking of one family that I know, like, they live in one county, but they own property in both counties. They
There's
don't
a,
have,
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of vacant
so they
landowners
don't
in-
have, I'm just saying,
within
they
the
don't
school
have,
district, and
right,
so I almost, I guess what I was getting at is I feel like maybe that needs to be put into one layer
Merge those two.
into this.
Yeah, I don't
I would
disagree.
agree, as long as they're represented, absolutely.
So that would be number 2 and number 3. So do you want those on the
Three
same?
and three and four.
Three and
3 and
four.
4.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Just merge those.
Residents
owners.
and or
Mhm.
property owners
Yeah,
within the
Okay.
district.
yeah. I think we're on the same page. I thought you were, I misunderstood how you were saying it, so, yeah.
Other than that, is everyone comfortable with priority?
Mhm.
Order of that priority? And then the next paragraph describes some proof of eligibility stuff there.
So I'm gonna ask maybe a really dumb question here, but let's just say a guy shows up 5:30, wants to speak. Nobody knows who he is, anything. Do we have time to vet that? That he owns property in this or has students in this county? Do you know what I'm,
That's
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, not really. I mean, you can do it in a couple of minutes. You can pull up his property card.
Right.
That's all public record.
Property records at the county, or
The
we've got,
assessor's website,
you know,
you'd be
Mrs.
able to pull
Smith or
that up
someone here who can
really
do that.
fast.
But according to this, doesn't that responsibility fall on the speaker, not on us?
Mhm.
According to the way the policies, prior to each board meeting, all speakers
Provide
must
proof.
provide proof of eligibility. That's up to them
Mhm.
to provide that.
And
Not
going-
up to
and-
us to go on the
right.
wild goose chase, right?
Well, and going back to that, what is the intent, right?
Yeah.
So having those flexibilities in there, right? But not to say it wouldn't happen, but you would assume that if a vacant landowner, right, showed up
well,
to a school board meeting in Brush, Colorado, they maybe would have called ahead and found out what they needed to do to offer public comment, be referred to the policy, be prepared when they come.
Mhm.
that's.
Some crazy one-off
Yeah,
situation.
I don't disagree with that. We're talking about the putting on a show. Somebody coming out here from another district, whatever, knows we're going through something. And they come in late.
It's on them to prove.
It's on them
They
to
have
prove
to-
and if-
yeah.
who they
So
are.
we
Unless-
can, that's the
unless-
point.
Unless this body,
We say, you gotta have some proof
Yeah.
here that.
Yeah, we gotta see
Gotcha.
evidence of something.
unless this body chose
Fair
to
enough.
suspend that rule in that
Correct.
particular instance.
Fair enough.
Is-
That answers
is
that
how I'm-
question.
Anything else on BEDH?
Yeah, I had something and then it just left me.
Probably because I asked this
No.
question.
You didn't ask a simple question, you asked a clarifying question, and those are always great. Oh, shoot. Well, we'll have time when it comes back to me,
Okay.
between now and next
We'll have
meeting.
another second reading, so there you go. That'll be good. All right, our next one is GBEB. This is about staff conduct. I will state that on the second page, meet and confer, recommended striking the last line of number 7. So you'll see a strike through now there.
Can you share some of the feedback from the staff about why they wanted to strike that?
They talked about this, made it seem to them that they needed to model the same expectations for the students, so they couldn't have a phone out, and they didn't want to get in trouble if they had a phone out and they were using it for a timer, or because they were in communication with an administrator, but there was a professional use of the device, so they needed to have it out, but
It also addresses it in the first sentence of number 7.
Yeah, I did
So it's
see
kind of
that.
a double.
Mhm.
Right.
I don't know if this policy is the right place for it, but I don't dislike policy stating that all staff will support consistent enforcement of the student cell phone policy.
and this was more about them modeling it,
Yeah.
is where the conversation was. Any questions about this one, any discussion? This is being recommended for third as it is. Again, remember, any second readings
Wait,
can
I'm
remain.
gonna go back on that because
Okay.
I'm not sure we effectively heard Paul in what he was stating. The
Okay.
way that reads is all staff are expected to model that expectation. The second piece is and support consistent enforcement of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we
And so-
just strike the expected to model that expectation and just have it read,
Keep the
all
support
staff
in
are
there.
expected to support consistent enforcement of the student cell phone policy?
Strike the first half of that sentence and keep the remaining half.
Because we're not striking that our expectation of staff is they support a consistent enforcement of the student cell phone policy.
I brought that up that evening, and Mr. Holdren, please, if you heard differently, it was the entire sentence felt like they felt like that entire sentence pertained to the first part of the sentence. You are the board, you get to decide, it is your policy. So you can retain whatever you want. You could take that part, and I could take it back to meet and confer in September, and you could keep this policy in second reading. So you have multiple, it's your choice.
Well,
It's
I think
your
if we
policy.
strike that entire sentence, we should strike the sentence before it, because otherwise, why even state that students are phone free during the school day? I think the fact that it says students are phone free during the school day and all staff are expected to support consistent enforcement of the student cell phone policy makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree.
So would you like to keep it
I think
that
we
way?
should take that
I
back, yeah, 'cause
thought-
once you take that first part out, it's not what they were concerned about, which is, that's why I was like, pulling a
Using-
phone out that you're using professionally and you're getting called on it by students. If that's out, I do feel like the staff should be supporting that the kids are phone free.
I may be wrong, but I thought it
Not
was
necessarily
referenced somewhere else and that it was another double one, but maybe I'm not seeing it now.
Would you be in support of keeping this in second reading and allowing me to take this back to meet and confer with that recommendation? Is that okay? Okay. I
As long
think
as you
that-
don't see any operational urgency to get this policy rolled out,
I don't. I think our staff overall are great with this. It's just aligning policy and practice. And I think it would just be best if it went back, and I'll try to do a decent job explaining what you're stating.
we have it recorded.
There you go. Play it. Okay. I was gonna try to do it, but I'll do that later. Okay. I may be taking that out of the exhibit too. I'm making life easy for you. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. So the next policy for second reading is IJN DAB, instruction through online courses. This also went to meet and confer. No recommended changes. This is allowing a leniency of the your tech use guidance document. And so it's just allowing that waiver for students who enroll in the online program or online courses. Discussion on that one?
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay. Next one is IKFE. This also went to meet and confer. And you'll notice that what looks like the second paragraph is completely struck through, and then there's that new paragraph since it went to first reading. That was just to clarify. Mr. Miller helped with that paragraph because the second one, we were trying to make that one work by striking and adding, and we just realized it would work a lot better if we just had one clear paragraph there. Again, this one to meet and confer, and no recommended changes on it. So according to the board policy, all I, J, and G policies go to meet and confer before final approval of the board. So those all went to meet and confer. I think I inundated them last year with policies, so I did not take any other policies other than I, J, and G. So just so you're aware of that. So the next policy for second reading is KE, Public Concerns and Complaints. This was based on a recommendation from a board member to put into policy how does a public handle concerns and complaints, similar to the G policies that you approved last school year. Any questions on that one? I would like to strike the CETA piece and just keep Chief Academic Officer. Remember we talked about that?
Mm-hmm.
So just so it retains that evergreen consistency in policy. All right, the next one is KEC, Public Concerns Complaints about Instructional Resources. You can see the changes here. Again, this I brought into first reading. KEC, KECR, KEF, and KEFE all were reviewed by legal, so recommendations come from legal. Any questions on KEC? Or KECR? I do want to note one change on KECR since you last saw it. One of our board members noticed that it erroneously struck through a line on page 2, top paragraph, where it said, the administrator will convene a review committee consisting of, so that is now still showing. Okay. And again, we'll just do Chief Academic Officer for H.
Does that H need to be a little
It needs to be a
lowercase
little
one?
h. Thank you. All right. Next is KEF, Public Concerns, Complaints about Teaching Methods, Activities, or Presentations. And then you see the exhibit. All right. Your policies for third reading tonight that were at second reading at our last board meeting. Those are policy BE, school board meetings. Policy BEDA, notification of school board meetings. Policy GBEE, staff use of internet and electronic communications. GBEE1, which is the exhibit 1. GBEE2, which is the administrator acceptable use agreement. And then IKF, graduation requirements. Any questions on any of those? Those are an action item in your exhibit tonight. And with that, I'm done.
Okay, no other questions or comments on superintendent's report. Next item of business would be community comment. We have Sarah O'Connor here to talk. Board welcomes public comment. Speakers must sign up before public comment begins and are limited to 3 minutes. Students will be invited to speak first, followed by speakers addressing agenda items in the order established by the sign-up process. Public comment is an opportunity for the board to hear from the community. The board generally will not respond during the meeting so that it can complete the scheduled agenda. Comments should address matters within the board's authority and the business of the district. The board president may interrupt or end comments that are outside the scope of public comment period exceed the time limit, or disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting. Individual student, employee, or confidential concerns should be submitted through the district's established complaint processes. Sarah, you're welcome to come forward.
You want me to stand or sit? I've never done this before, this is gonna be so real. So hi, my name's Sarah O'Connis. I'm new to the school district, not new to Brush. But I have 3 young children. My oldest is just now starting preschool. We were, invited to here because she was in speech therapy, and they said, oh, Brush will be a great way to help her get started with that. So I'm just kind of concerned about these new policies regarding the preschool. From just sitting and listening, I understand that there's a lot going on right now, and it's not just preschool's an issue. But some of my main concerns are there's the sensory learning is being cut back, the no learning games in the classrooms being cut back, just field trips in general, like to the library, to the secondary campus, just things like that. There's a trip to the bank that they do. I know those might not be considered educational, but it is good for the students. They do get out to the town. They get to see what else Brush offers. The library is very accommodating with the students. I know that November, December, and January is too cold for them to actually walk down there. The ladies at the library are very helpful. They're accommodating. They come to the school. They read to them. So I'm sure that they would be willing to work with that. Don't know much. I don't know. I was really hoping there'd be somebody else here to talk. I was not prepared at all. But, I don't know. My daughter's young and she doesn't have a voice. Not well. Not yet. And, I don't know. I would like to be a part of the parent-teacher, all of that, the PTO. But I just don't know if I can support a system that's limiting the students this bad. And I guess that's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Did you want to interface with her at some point? Sarah, Mrs. Cody would be willing to chat with you about that, and if you want to set an appointment up with her and
All right, thank you.
talk through that with her.
Please call the district office tomorrow and schedule a meeting, and I'm happy to meet with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Okay, next item of business is action items, 10.1 personnel.
Move to approve the personnel report as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Church.
Aye, motion carries. Next item of business, 10.2 personnel report number 2.
I move to approve the second personnel report as presented.
Second?
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Given that this personnel item involves an individual who is an employee of mine, I will be abstaining from this discussion and vote on this matter to avoid any conflict of interest.
I will also be abstaining from the vote as this involves a family member.
Any other discussion? No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Do I abstain?
Here.
Present.
Present. Okay, we discussed that. Present.
Mr. Church.
Present. Motion carries. Next item of business, Brush Police Department MOU.
I move to approve the MOU with the Brush Police Department as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and, motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Church.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.4 American Red Cross MOU.
I move to approve the MOU with the American Red Cross.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turner.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.6, Healthy Young Minds MOU.
I move to approve the MOU with Healthy Young Minds.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turner.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.7, University of Kansas contract.
I move to approve the MOU with the University of Kansas.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turner.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.8, retention of legal counsel.
I move that the Board of Education of Brush School District RE2J approve an additional separate legal services engagement with FRM on a contingency fee basis of 20% of any monies recovered, with no cap, to investigate and pursue potential additional recovery from UHP and any associated vendors.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turner.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.9, tolling agreement.
I hereby move that the superintendent be authorized to execute an extension of the tolling agreement with Selective Insurance Company not to exceed 3 months in order to continue the presentation of the school district's hail damage claims.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turner.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.10, signers on bank accounts.
I move to approve the signer changes to reflect the 2026-2027 administration team for the Brush School District activity accounts.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turner.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.11, complete wireless technologies.
I move that the board approve the purchase of a bidirectional antenna and the associated equipment from Complete Wireless Technologies per their quote dated July 30th, 2026 in the amount of $38,144, and authorize the superintendent to proceed with expenditures not to exceed $38,500 to be paid for with SSD funds, with any amount above that figure requiring prior board approval.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turner.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.12, disposal of kitchen equipment.
Move that the board declare the replaced kitchen equipment as surplus property and authorize its disposal as it has been replaced with new equipment purchased using surplus designated food service funds.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turner.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item of business, 10.13, policies.
I move to adopt the policy changes as outlined in Exhibit A Policy Action Summary, August 17th, 2026, including all final approvals and advancements to third reading.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Can we just double check this exhibit real quick? What two did we pull out? Did we discuss pulling out?
BEDH.
Sorry, I
And
have it right here.
It'd be easier than me going back and forth.
was it GBEB? Yeah, GBEB, because that was the number 6 and number 7. Remember, that was staff conduct.
Right. Okay. Good job. I see, good job.
Is there any other discussion or questions? If there's no further discussion, roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hess.
Aye.
Mr. Holdren.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mrs. Stone.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Turk.
Aye, motion carries. Next item of business would be information items. Next regular board meeting be Monday, September 21st at 6 p.m. And we have a special board meeting this Wednesday at 6 p.m.,
At 5
Five.
5 p.m. Yep.
So we could make the barbecue.
We'll try. Mrs. Cody, do you have any clarifications?
I do not.
Any board members have any clarifications? Anything that needs to be addressed in policy or added to a future meeting agenda? No further business. Meeting is adjourned.
It's not 8 o'clock yet.
We're not gone yet.
We're not?
Can I actually have the first one?
You said we're not gone yet.
Oh, we're not gone. I thought he said not
Oh,
done
we're
yet.
done.
And she said this